Alright, so here's the next one. This is Rock of Ages. This one brings the Broadway show to life. It has some real good music in it from like the 80s and all that kind of in between. And I really love the music in it. And I think that's what makes this movie what it is. So it has Tom Cruise in it and a couple of other famous people there. As you can see, this is actually my second Paul Giamatti movie that I have here. I didn't even realize that. I like all the relationship between each character in this movie, and they kind of play off each other, and they have their own scenes, and it's really good. And this one actually takes place in LA, of all places. So if you're looking for a real good movie with rock music and 80s and all that kind of stuff, this one's for you. So here's one of my favorite movies of all time. This is Interview with the Vampire. This one is actually based on the Anne Rice novel, Interview with the Vampire. I want to do a video on this. Let me know what you think. I've read the book and I've seen the movie already, and I've been thinking about if I should do one. And I have the whole series of the Vampire Chronicles. I'm actually on The Queen of the Dam right now. I still have to read it. At the moment, I am actually reading Dracula. I want to see how Dracula relates into the stories of the real vampires and how they used to be back then. So reading Dracula kind of makes me think of Interview with the Vampire, because how Bram Stoker writes, I think that's where Anne Rice got her ideas for Interview with the Vampire. And I can see a little bit of that in Dracula. So I just want to do like a movie book comparison. So if you want to see that, please let me know down in the comments below. This was a really, really good movie. It follows the novel real well. So here's another one of Anne Rice's stories. This is Queen of the Dam with Stuart Townsend and Aaliyah. I really respect Aaliyah's work, and it's too bad that she left us this early. She had so much more to give, and she really brought this character to life. I still have to read the book. It actually does start in the Vampire Lestat, which I've already read too. It's a very long book, but I didn't want it to end. Actually, Lestat talks about how these kind of people, her and Enkil, and how they all started. And reading The Queen of the Dam is just going to bring that right back to me. And I still have to read it for myself, and I'm actually looking forward to it because this is one of my favorite movies, and the soundtrack is really good too. I just wish that they would make more soundtracks like this that are like metal. I know some people, they don't really care for this one, but it's just because they've read the book already and they base it like that. I think about it as two different things. I think about it as the movie and the book. So when I get to read the book, I'll understand. But Aaliyah did a really great job in this movie, just portraying Akasha like she did. This is one of my favorite movies. Here's the next one. This is Rockstar. This features Mark Wahlberg and Jennifer Aniston. They're a husband and wife couple in this movie. This is the story about a guy who grew up with these bands on his wall, and one of them in particular, he wanted so much to be like him. The lead singer leaves the band and he gets the chance of a lifetime to join the band. He gets so excited, and he does actually become the lead singer, but it turns out that at a certain point he just gets tired, and he finds this young guy in the crowd who is singing like every line to the song, kind of like he did when he started his whole career as this other guy. And so he gives the microphone to him at the end, and kind of passing along the band to him. He just finds his own place in his own world, and he finds his own music. So this is a really good movie. So here's the next one. This is V for Vendetta. This is with Natalie Portman and Hugo Weaving. Natalie Portman plays a character named Evie, and Hugo Weaving, obviously, V. So what this movie is about is V's story and how he's getting back at the people who disfigured him, and that's why he's always wearing the mask. And I like the world of story that this whole movie creates. This movie brings you back to a time when like movies were very classic and story oriented. I just saw it just recently because of the 5th of November, and I decided that I should watch it again on that day. It's been so long since I've seen it. I really do enjoy it because it does have a lot of art kind of aspects to it. The cinematography in this movie is very good. Some of the scenes where the whole army comes out, like we're seeing right here on the front cover, is amazing. They managed to capture a lot of what this movie is about, and they try to make it so it's more like art. And V was a big fan of art, so yeah, this is a really good movie. So here's the next one. This is Bedazzled with Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley. This movie tells the story of Brendan Fraser's character is a computer tech, and he falls for Elizabeth Hurley's character. She plays the devil. He agrees to sell her his soul in exchange for 7 wishes, but it never goes his way. I like some of the things that she turns him into. At the end, he's like, I tell you to do this for me, and she always has a little twist up her sleeve, and she turns him into something that he never wanted to be. She says, oh, but you wished for it. And he's like, not like this, and so it just seems like each time she's trying to make it worse on him, and she never gives him what he wants. The last wish, he ends up, being selfless, and the wish that he wants comes true. So yeah, this is a real good movie. It's probably one of the funniest ones that I own. So here's the next one. This one is Black Death. This one features Sean Bean. For any of you who have seen Game of Thrones, Sean Bean actually plays Ned Stark, and this is him right here. He plays a knight in this movie, and he's like put to the ultimate test during the plague, and he's trying to get away from the land that's filled with plague, and he builds like a small army to follow him, and he gets led into this other land, which they say is one of those places where they can go to be safe, and he gets tricked and they actually get captured. I don't want to ruin the end, but if you've seen it, you know what happens. This is a really, really good movie. I think it's just been overlooked, but for the people who have it, you know what I'm talking about. It wasn't too popular, but I enjoyed it for the first time that I've seen it myself, so really good movie right here. So here's a movie that you've seen already if you've watched the videos on my channel. This one is The Silence of the Lambs. This one's with Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, and Scott Glenn. I don't have to say too much about this one. It's just about Hannibal Lecter's character and how Jodie Foster's character and him meet and all that craziness goes on, but I'm sure you know this movie, so really great movie, classic. I'm glad I have it now. It's been a while since I've actually seen it. I remember seeing it back in college, and I had to do a whole assignment on it and actually watch the movie and kind of study it. I finally picked it up. This one was less than $5 if you've seen my other video. This one's a really, really good movie. I can't wait to watch it again. So here's the next one. This one was less than probably $3 or $5. I can't remember now, but I did pick it up. I remember watching it in the theater. I have seen it just recently, so for some reason I can't just sit and watch it. It's just one of those movies that's just way too long. But this is a 2-disc unrated director's cut of Robin Hood. This one features Russell Crowe and Cate Blanchett. This is the untold story behind the legend. So here's the next one. This is The Kingdom of Heaven. This one is with Orlando Bloom and Jeremy Irons. This is the second movie that I own from him, and I really enjoy this movie. It has a bunch of medieval fighting and all that kind of stuff. So what this movie is about a young knight during the Crusades who battles these overwhelming forces to save his people and to fulfill his true destiny. They do a really good job, and I remember the hype when this movie came out, so I finally picked it up, and it was actually